For today's video, I'm going to show a blueberry muffin. This recipe was adapted a little bit from a Cook's Illustrated recipe. I've changed it to wild blueberries because I like them, they're a little bit smaller. Instead of sour cream, I'm using yogurt, and I'm using melted butter. You could also use canola oil, and I'm going to be putting cinnamon and sugar on top. So the first thing that I'm going to do for the muffin method is combine all my dry ingredients. So I have 2 cups of flour here, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, which is a lot, half a teaspoon of salt, okay, and I'm going to mix all that up. The one thing I am going to keep from the original recipe is that I'm going to put the sugar in with the wet ingredients, because I find that it makes the batter come together a little smoother. And you have to do less mixing. And the less mixing, the better, because we don't want to overmix. Because as we overmix, once the flour gets wet, it starts to produce gluten, and gluten is what makes things tough and chewy and elastic. And we like that for pizza, but we don't want that in a muffin. So I'm gonna get all my butter out there. And butter has great flavor. Oil works just as well if you don't have butter. Sour cream is great in the original recipe, but I don't have sour cream often in the house, so I'm using some non-fat yogurt. Right, and I have 1.5 cups of non-fat yogurt. And I like to often make this with half whole wheat flour as well. I notice sometimes the whole wheat flour, the batter is a little stiffer, and that's because the whole wheat requires a little bit more moisture. So what you could do is have an extra tablespoon or 2 of yogurt if you're gonna do whole wheat. Okay, so I want my wet ingredients really mixed up. So we have to do almost no mixing when it comes together. Instead of mixing, what we're gonna do is we're really gonna be folding. And this recipe doesn't have any vanilla. It's just straight blueberry flavor. And I like that. All right, now I'm gonna make a well in the center. I'm gonna pour in my wet ingredients. And I'm just gonna fold by pulling the flour from the bottom, turning my bowl, and running my spatula through the center. And I want to mix this until just combined. My oven preheating to 350. That's the sound that it has reached 350. Now I'm going to stop right here, even though I can still see that there's some flour there that's not mixed in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blueberries here, and I'm going to coat them in just a little bit of flour. And what that's going to do is that's going to help them not sink to the bottom. Not enough that it contributes to the amount of flour that you have in there. So I stop right before it's mixed. Okay, and then I'm going to pull the rest out by hand because that flour came to the bottom, and I don't want to add that, because we don't want these muffins to turn out purple. And these are frozen blueberries. So frozen blueberries, if you mix them too much, are going to turn everything purple. So see, my flour is still left at the bottom. If you're using fresh blueberries, you don't have to be as worried. So just a couple more turns. See, it's already running a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to stop there. That's it. And I've greased a muffin pan. I'm going to do 1 scoop. Once all my muffin batter is portioned out, I'm going to sprinkle each one generously with cinnamon sugar. To make the cinnamon sugar, it's 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm going to bake these for 20 minutes and check them. They'll probably need between 25 and 30. But I'm just going to stick a toothpick in the center and see if it comes out clean.